a bit more like it with the light over there. I apologize for the Turbo Megazord review that I did. Admittedly, not one of my better ones, but that light bulb right back there burned out, and I had to shoot the thing at night. Bad combination, as opposed to opening up all the windows and having, or opening all the blinds and having a light that works. Now I can't even look at that thing right now. Just get my hand up to the sun here, fighting the sun. So yeah, Turbo Megazord. I could have reshot it, but I didn't want to wait 2 weeks because like I had the urge to review it, so I got to get it out while I'm thinking about it, you know. Which is kind of how this came up, because this was actually here because I need to finish my Power Rangers Turbo reviews. Well, at least the videos. In terms of Rescue Megazord, I was actually going to shoot Rescue Megazord, and then Artillotron sitting right back there. I've had Artillotron for 3 months now. Got him secondhand, and he's he's not banged up necessarily. Well, but rather that somebody must have done an accidental overcoat of spray paint or some kind of crap across all the black parts. Like, I don't know, like they took the doors off, they covered the decals, and they sprayed some kind of shit on it. Actually, let me show you. It's not like I'm ever on topic on these unboxing anyway, right? Artillotron was not a huge priority in terms of toys I wanted to get from Power Rangers. Yeah, I'd still like to get the Robo Racer, but again, not a high priority. Can you guys see that over there? Not really. A little more this way. Close enough. So, you know, I've got a little bit of a fin problem here. That's an issue, but, you know, I could just put a blow dryer to that thing. No worries. See what the little fins. This one got melted off, and this one just needs to be reheated. So, you know, no worries there. Turns out there actually weren't that many modifications. Not that I'm going to spoil it, but really the only thing they did is they took the chrome off of the hands, the claw hands, off of this and off of this, and then they took the chrome off the hubcaps. That's pretty much all they changed. So, you know, was it Saban and Bandai America in 1996. So anyways, there's a little bit of dust. I'm going to try and clean that off. At least I think it's dust. It might be sea salt for all I know. Get off there. What are you doing? And yes, I do have the Rescue Megazord in here. See, see, there they are. Freshly dusted, by the way, so literally toothbrush. Toothbrush and a vacuum cleaner with attachments. Vacuum cleaner with attachments. But anyways, you can see across the top here, it's got this sparkly spray-on shit. I don't know what this was. I don't think it was overspray. On the other hand, I want to think it's overspray because it's kind of partially on the top of the wheels and kind of not. But, yeah, I've got Artillotron. By the way, I find it ironic that the two smaller of the vehicles were stuck in here. I don't know why. The other thing I don't get is they roll around side to side and back and forth. They don't have any little divots that the wheels can fit into and will hold them in place. I don't understand why they didn't do that. But yeah. But anyways, this is obviously spray painted, but it must have been like sitting off to the side and somebody else just kind of doing this with the spray paint and just got it across the top. There's a little bit here. At least I think that's probably the same thing. I'm not sure. So I got a little bit here, and there's a little bit here. So yeah, I'm going to have to leave that. Some tape right there. But yeah, I don't know how it is they avoided. I don't know what they were doing here. Maybe it was at this angle, or maybe because this decal or this sticker is in excellent condition. It was kind of like at this angle when they were spraying or something like that. So I need to figure out how to get this off. Rubbing alcohol would ruin the decals. Although I recently heard or learned that if you use, and it's specifically marked on the box, if you use, what's it called, clear Elmer's glue, and it'll specifically say clear. Apparently that works really well with paper stickers, paper type stickers. So clear Elmer's glue. But I got to figure out how to get this shit off of here. I don't think alcohol's going to work. I'm not sure. No, I don't know what kind it is. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. It's I don't know what it is. It's some sort of a glitter, not glitter, because there's white and black mixed together. So I don't know what are they going. So anyways, yeah, I was going to review them. I was kind of puzzled with myself. Which one should I review first? Should I review Artillotron first because the Megazord is inside there, or should I do it like I did with the Lightspeed and Omega Megazords, where you just kind of see it in the background. You pull them out individually and you just kind of ignore the carrier and you save the carrier for last. It's like, you know, which order were they released in, and it's kind of an issue. So continuity and all that stuff. I like to review things in the order they were released, but also I want to review them in the order they were that they are presented in the show. So, you know, Artillotron appears first, obviously, and then the Rescue Megazord's on the inside. But the weird thing is, Artillotron never fires a shot. You never see it in close-up. You never see it in anything other than when it's rolling stuff out. The only time it transforms is just because it can, not because it transforms as the Rescue Zords are rolling away. So I don't quite get that. Which one do I review first, you know? Anyways, yeah, that's a bit of an issue. I was also debating whether or not to take a nap. It just became 11:40. As I'm bringing it up, it's 11:40 a.m., by the way. Why would you take a nap at 11:40 a.m.? Well, I'm trying to change my sleep schedule, so I'm tired right now. Artillotron. But you didn't come here for Turbozords. Oh, no, you might have. I'm not sure. You came here for this. Let's see, is this centered? Still trying to figure out how to do this thing. I suppose doing it this way would help a bit. Oh, by the way, last night, I ordered this last week, but last night in Prime 92 was there to see it. I ordered the DVD of from Shout Factory, the complete box set of the subtitled Kyoryu Sentai Zyuranger. Must support the cause, must support the cause, must support the cause. Like, Zyuranger is not well known in Super Sentai for being one of the better series, and from some of the footage I've seen, it's just outright wacky, and it's no wonder they use so much American footage for Power Rangers. I get that, but that's not why I ordered it. I ordered it to support the cause. I'm not going to download it by streaming it or whatever and then have to re-upload it to a cell phone or... I'm doing it to show Shout Factory, to show Toei, that there is a market here in the United States, Canada, Great Britain, for Super Sentai. For Super Sentai subtitled. And with the bonus DVD extras and stuff that I love getting my hands on. So, like, even if it's not well received in terms of the content, or, you know, whether it's the show itself or whatever add-ons that Shout Factory put in there, they only released it yesterday. So I had to wait for the pre-order to end. But I want to show Toei that there is a market here for subtitled stuff. That would be nice. If they're starting with one of the Stranger, the Super Sentai, and clearly Zyuranger because it led to MMPR Season 1, very clearly. Do I want them to release only Super Sentai that appeared in Power Rangers? I'd like to see Live Man, I'd like to see Jetman, I'd like to see Flashman. I'd love to see the proper version of Dynaman, not the USA Network dub I've been watching with Clan Okami from SDGM. My God, like, if you ever get a chance, watch the parody of Dynaman. You'll have to turn up the volume because it's VHS quality on YouTube, but if you ever get a chance, it's terrible, and there's so many what the fuck moments in there. It's just the racism and just Ah, God. So if you're Japanese, don't watch the dub because you might actually be offended. I'm not Japanese by any stretch, and even I was like, whoa, okay, this is stupid kind of racism kind of shit. I know nothing about Dynaman, and even I could tell. It's like, and it's nowhere near Power Rangers quality. It's like Samurai Pizza Cats, but like over the edge, way cross the line kind of bad parody. That's what it is. Like, what were they thinking when they made that thing? I know it was the 80s and what's it called, affirmative action or whatever it is, blah blah blah. But just come on, that is racist shit even for the 80s. But yes, I would like to see it properly subtitled. There's the order. Oh my God, I paid that much. Well, at least I got it on discount. Well, not discount, it was on sale, so that's why I grabbed it. You know, I'm not interested in Masterpiece Ultra Magnus. On the other hand, just recently announced the Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus. I might actually go for that one instead. That thing was awesome. I'm not a big advocate of the character of Ultra Magnus, but yeah, I'll get that version. No, this is what you came here for. Can you guys even see that? I think I'm going to have to do this. I don't know how I'm going to do this, because, like, I want you to be able to see this over here, but I also want you to be able to see my reaction on the other hand. I don't want to have to be awkward and uncomfortable and, like, reach way over here in order to do the reviewing thing. But I don't want to show too much of me, so it's like, it's kind of a hard balance to strike. By the way, this Toyland was originally meant for, was it 4 to 7-year-olds, or was it 5 to 7, 4 to 6? This is for 15-year-olds. I'm pretty sure 15-year-olds don't visit Toys R Us anymore. I did. Dragonzord stats. 124 feet. Wow, that's actually kind of small. Because the original Dragonzord was listed, the original Megazord was listed as 333 feet tall. Length is 203 feet. Well, that doesn't sound very right. Weight is 340,000 pounds. How about you give it to us in tons? Speed is 86 miles per hour. Weapon, power laser drill. Well, what about the missiles that came out of the fingers? You know, what about the energy beam that came out of the crest? You know, that was kind of an issue. Whatever. And then for whatever reason, it's in French, which, why would it be in French? And it's in Spanish because of the Mexican invasion. And you know, the ironic thing is, some of these things appear exactly the same. Like it says power laser drill. Power laser drill. Like, some of those things, they don't even have. Okay. Aside from this looks almost exactly the same. Well, no, you used to have the Green Ranger. It was a cutout box, and you used to have the Green Ranger you could actually see into the box. The actual Green Ranger was right there. So, 5 ordinary teenagers have been chosen to save the world from no mention of mid-season changes here, like, oh, I don't know, a 6th Ranger and his own personal Zord showing up. You know, they never seem to include that in there. Did I want the original Dragon Caesar? Yeah, kind of. I wanted the detailing. I didn't want those bloody lightning bolts all over the place. I could have gone to Repro Labels and gotten, you know, was it $30 or however much it is, I don't know. I could have gotten one of those, but couldn't quite bring myself to do it, you know, 25 years later. kind of like the good old days of Power Rangers and Bandai American Instructions, where you actually had to turn it over. And the reason you turned it over is because the pictures were actually big enough. You could see what was going on, but they didn't have enough room on one side because the pictures were so big. So you'd have to turn it over. Now they're so small and the writing is so tiny you can't read shit on here. Just saying. What's that? Okay. Presumably, this isn't too different from the 1993 release. Oh, I forgot. Is there a latent sound in this? I don't remember. You know, it's funny. They talk about recycling and saving resources, reduce, reuse, recycle, and yet they... Why couldn't they just put a cardboard cover across the top? There, that'll hold everything in place. And just spare yourselves the trouble of having to make these things. I'm not a tree hugger by any stretch of the imagination, but even I kind of... God, that's tiny. Does it come off? No, it does not. Does it twist? Oh, it does come off. I don't know why, but it does. Okay. Wait, it only goes on one way? Why would they do that? I don't know. It just does. Okay. My computer just turned itself on again. Why does it do that? What virus is in you that compels you to turn you on when I'm not even around? I need to get it into the shop. Poor thing. Every time I download something legitimate, legitimate program, a couple of minutes later, Mozilla Firefox will start bitching about ads. I'm like, I've got an ad blocker on there, right? And it's like, no, ads. I'm like, okay, what got downloaded now? So I have to spend about 5 minutes running through the control panel and going through, all those things. And just, so I don't know why it keeps doing that. It's been doing that for well over a year now. I need to take it into the shop. When I'm spending $80 and stuff like this, I can't really afford to take that in. What I need is a better computer. I've got the RAM, I just don't have the what's the word I'm looking for? The graphics card to be able to back it up. That's one of the reasons why I suck at SDGO. By the way, I haven't commented on it yet. Oh my God! With PVC at the end. That's what we should have had in '93. What the hell? That's amazing. Oh my God, just that alone. And the whole thing is in PVC, it's just the little tip on the end. I can live with this. And that tail, holy shit. What is this, Mega-Dragonzord? Jesus H. I discovered a store, I'm not going to say where because it's kind of my little secret. I discovered a store, a secondhand store, filled with 80s and 90s and hints of 70s. What's the word I can look for? Power Rangers, Transformers, comic books, Nintendos, all kinds of good shit like that. But it was buy, sell, trade. So I finally got rid of some toys of mine because I've been sitting on them for years and years and years. Why was I? Oh my God, there's 2 sets of hands. What the hell? Do they pose? I don't care. It comes with 2 pairs of hands. Wow. I was not expecting that. Well, I knew the hands could come off, but I figured it was like for the transformation. Oh, that's why they can do that. Okay. It's probably so it can transform. A bad thing? Not necessarily. Must save power. Excuse me. The thing I noticed about my previous unboxing, which was an hour and a half long, hour and 45 minutes, which I know, I'm sorry. I believe me when I say it's not about me liking the sound of my own voice. But one thing I noticed is, for whatever reason, the audio and the video were starting to desync from each other. You obviously noticed it because I pointed it out. And so I'm having to remind myself, oh yeah, you need to do more frequent stop and starts. So this seems a little choppy, it's not just because of the editing, it's because I actually am starting and stopping and readjusting and things like that. Motherfucker! I just turned you off. I don't get it. I don't get it. And by the way, there's not only are they segmented. Look at that! Oh my god! Not only whoever proposed this, but whoever actually designed this thing, give those suckers a raise. So why does this come off? Oh gosh, that went on easy. Does it come off easy? Nope, that's it. Only goes on one time, only comes off one time. Holy shit, by the way. I'm sure there's some hentai artists who have put this to use already. God, that's amazing. Amazing. I turned that thing off and like 15 seconds later it turns right back on. Are you kidding me? What was it that Samuel L. Jackson said? Please go the fuck to sleep. There's a lot of die-cast in here. I can feel it. Whoa, okay. There's so much die-cast in it, it literally poked holes in its own bag. Excellent. Oh my... Okay, it turned off. Let's see how long it stays off this time. 11:56. Do I want the Dragon Dagger? Yes and no. Do I want the Green Ranger Power Morpher? No. Nah, I've already got the regular one. I don't. If I could get just the coins, okay. By the way, I saw in Toys R Us. I was in Toys R Us last week, and I saw they had a White Ranger Movie Edition Power Morpher. So not only did you have the Tigerzord coin, but they also had the Falconzord coin that they made for the movie. Bargain. Do I want it? No. I would like to see Bandai America make Legacy, well, maybe not Legacy, but what? Yeah, I guess it would be Legacy Ninja Megazord. But the thing about the Ninja Megazord, I'll be right back. The thing about the Ninja Megazord, at least for whatever reason, and this was before repaints even in Japan, which is totally a lie, but don't say that. Before there were repaints in Power Rangers, before they started getting smart, I just got dust in my eye. You'll have to take my word for it. This is the movie edition Ninja Megazord. Ava, you've got the movie edition. Blah, 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 blah. This thing is identical to the non-movie edition. Identical. Even to the, not Retrofire, Power Playback. That's what it was called, which was like 2 years later or whatever it was, where they still had these molds and they reissued some of them, including Serpentera, I think. But anyways, one thing I wish they had done to just you know, a little thing, and by the way, compared to the Kakore Daishogun, or however you say it, the Japanese version, the pink was originally red, and these decals were modified. Well, you know, the head decals were modified, because it's like, why does it have red up here on the top of the Crane Ninja Zord? Well, it's because it was originally red. It's the pink plastic for the neck, and then the pink decal across the tail. Those are literally the only decals, and they also changed this, because they added this N, because ninjas, and then they added the lightning bolt. So that's actually correct. Let's see, can you guys even see it? So that's technically correct, the way it was. So, you know, just ignore the lightning bolt. There, you can't see it. And that's pretty much all they changed. What I would like to have seen for the I'm getting paranoid now. I'm hearing it turn on even though it's not. What I wish they had done was the yellow, the white, the red, the blue. It'd be kind of difficult to do it on the black, but it would have been nice if they'd given it a try. Do chrome movie version, because like the CGI in the first Power Rangers movie, I could do a whole commentary on the movie. It's very dated, but it's also very early CGI in movies. So like, okay, it was photorealism CGI. It wasn't Tron. It wasn't on a computer screen. It was actually putting CGI into a real environment. That's what they were trying to do. And so, because there were Zords, there's a lot of dust here. Look at that. Jesus. What's wrong with you, Raven? Anyways, they had CGI in there, and which was at the times was. So I would love to have seen the Rangers colors in chrome on the movie edition, because literally it was just like the Gal Hunter Predazord. The Gal Hunter was released in two different boxes. There was Gal Hunter Evil and there was Gal Hunter Justice. Literally, they were identical toys. The only difference was the packaging. Literally, that was the only difference. So Bandai America kind of did the same thing in '95, where they said two different packaging, and the Falcon Ninjazord as well, which I also have. It's exactly the same toy. It's just the packaging was different. So if Ben, you're gonna fall over. If Bandai America is watching this, and I hope they do, maybe I'll try and send it to them somehow. If they see this, I would love to see, if they do a Legacy Ninja Megazord and Legacy Falcon Ninjazord, I would love to see, not all of it necessarily, but, you know, I'd like the silver bits and the gold bits to be the chrome, as they always were, but or even die-cast metal for some of these things, like these here and these here. You know, it'd be nice to have die-cast metal in here, even though there wasn't in the Japanese version. But I would like to see more chrome. I'd like to see colored chrome, not just silver, not just gold, but I'd love to see the yellow, the pink, the red, the blue, and I guess all of the black on the frog. I'd like to see those chromed. I'd like to see them have that polish on there. That would be neat. So yes, yeah. By the way, I've got this. Lots of dust. Ugh. Oh yeah, I totally like I'd like one of these. I'd totally dig a Legacy Shogun Megazord. Question for you Shuriken Sentai Ninja fans. Which, by the way, the show hasn't aired yet. It's going to air tomorrow, next Thursday, tonight. I'm not sure. Or it's going to debut they debut it on a Thursday or something like that. I don't know why, but anyways, lots of dust. Jesus, this thing's going to have more dust than when it came out of the box, or 3 years from now. Wow. For you Ninja fans, do you think, how awesome would it be to have because the thing about the Muteki Shogun is it started out as kind of a traditional Japanese castle, you know, whatever that's called. And it was kind of implied in the show, as I understand it, please correct me if I'm wrong, it was implied that the Muteki Shogun was actually a triple changer. It changed because the building itself would actually disappear, and then lo and behold, the Zords would show up, whatever they were called in the show, I don't know, in Japan. It was kind of implied that it was a triple changer, but the toy was never able to really execute it. I'm wondering, wouldn't it be amazing if for 12:04, so you went for 8 minutes without powering up by yourself. Wouldn't it be awesome for Ninja, because they're doing the whole ninja thing again, it says it in the title, by the way, if they had a triple changing homage base, not an homage, like it would be a different mecha, but it would be a genuine triple changer. It starts out as the traditional Japanese castle, changes into those humanoid forms, which they already have, you know, in the Ninja so far, at least from what we've seen of the toys, and then from there it changes into something like this. Now, yeah, I know this kind of, the Shuriken Gen already kind of looks like this, but I think it'd be really nice if they tried to do a proper triple changing version of this. Oh yeah, Legacy Shogun Megazord with proper white arm. Yeah, the Z, I didn't care if it was a Z or something else on there. Actually, I wouldn't mind keeping the Z on there. It kind of works for me, although it does bring to mind the fact that they were fighting Lord Zed, and that the Shogun Zords, when they first appeared, were controlled by Zed. So, you know, there was a continuity issue there, but, you know, I can live with it. Oh, yeah, also this is the movie edition Falcon Zord. It'd be nice if they put the lights and sound on there for a change. Do I want the Tsubasa Maru? Yeah. What the fuck? Well, I'm pretty sure it didn't do that in this show. What am I looking at? Wait. Okay, wait a minute. Wait. Okay. The instructions for changing this into Dragonzord in fighting mode is you have to... Let me see if I got this straight. Oh my god, there's a lot of diecast in there. Holy shit. There's diecast in his... Okay. How do they want me to do this? I know it was a little early for this, but... Okay, so they want me to do this, which, why? Like Zord Builder, okay, whatever, but why are they having me separated for the transformation? Wait, what? By the way, the instructions don't even tell you that you have to take this off. It just tells you to pry those open. So it says pry these open. I forgot how tight that is. And then what the... Oh, right. They don't tell you to release the tail. Well, they do. And then take this off. Okay, whatever. And then disconnect these. And then you combine it, you stick it on here, and you just reassemble it. Why do I have to disconnect these? Who made these instructions? You don't have to disconnect the arms to separate this thing. Just, hey, pull off the Mastodon Zord. Okay. Who the hell made those instructions? Well, Bandai Creation made those instructions. Bandai Creation is stupid. And every 15-year-old out there, because these instructions are recommended for 15-year-olds, there it is, right there, 15, right in the corner. Every 15-year-old is smart enough to know at this point, you don't have to separate the arms in order to combine it with that. Take it apart as a single piece. That's what it did in 1993. Genius, not so genius. Alright, back to this. We put this... Does he tilt his head up? No. Whoa, that's flimsier than I remember. Whoa! What kind of buzz cut nonsense is this? Like, that I understand. I'm actually glad it does that. But why... That's as far as it needs to go. Why does it go down? Anyone? Why does it go down like that? Was he trying to imitate the ranger who controls him or something? A big ponytail that Tommy used to have? 12:10. God damn it. Alright, that's it. I'm logging off and... What's the phrase? Fuck this shit. Okay, why does that sink down? I don't get that. Ba-ding! You're turning me off. Hooray! Get you out of here. This tail is ridiculously huge, and it's never going to hold a shape. By the way, any friction I just had in there, gone. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the fact that it's articulating like that, but... And you know, the ironic thing is there's no die cast in here, unless these things are die cast. No, they're not die cast. But still, you know... What? Are you supposed to run this upright like this? Oh, no, you're not, because the... Oh, wow, you can't even turn the... Okay. These shoulder joints are die-cast metal. I don't believe... How do you get those out of there? Oops. I just made it worse. Ow! This thing's made for 15-year-olds, but only a 6 or a 5-year-old will be able to get their fingers in there. Just saying. Are these known for breaking, by the way? The little pins on here? This is why I'm going with the straight hands, because I don't want to have to replace them over and over. It's nice they did that, but couldn't they have just had a little joint? Like, thumb is already like this, so couldn't they have just had a little joint that went like that? I could have lived with that. There we go. That wasn't too bad. Oh, the fingers are individual. Huh. I wasn't expecting that. Which means they'll snap off first chance they get. Yes, the wrist turn. Woohoo! And for whatever reason, those bend upwards. I'm not sure why, but they do. They could have engineered it so it wouldn't go up like that. I don't know what. That's just lazy. Why is he pointing down like this? Couldn't they have designed this so he's standing upright like this, at least the head pointing forward? Round 2. Ding. Huh, they painted that. Like, it's still got the ribbed... Oh, wait, there wasn't... Well, yeah, it was... Because originally this was a decal, the original 93 version. I'm going to say 94, 95 at some point. The original 93 version, they put a decal over it, which didn't make a whole lot of sense because it already had grooves in there. You could actually just take the decal off, and the grooves are right where they needed to be. So, it's not meant to be a vent. It wasn't meant to be dark like this. I'm not quite sure why they did it that way. Oh, well. Awesome as it is to have these, and I love the fact they've got just the right kind of angle to them. I love that, but I'm never going to use these. Some people are. I'm not. So now I've got extra stuff sitting around. Hey, here's an idea. Store this inside here. But then on the other hand, this probably would have been smaller and even more useless than it already was before. And even more hollow than it was, too. Okay. Time to change positions. Oh. It's a lot more screen accurate, I can tell. It actually has features on here that the original 93 version didn't, but it has features on here that you only saw in the show as well. Can you guys see me? I can barely see. Okay, there it is. I think kind of the biggest one, and the reason I noticed this, oh my god, by the way, they did this. And yes, it turns, not very well, but it turns, but I like the articulation. I hope that Legacy Titanus is better than this. $200! This is what, 75, 76, something like that? $200 for Titanus. Put some stickers on that damn thing. I'm not paying $200. Are you kidding? It probably doesn't even have die-cast in it. Whoops. Does it have knees? Do the knees move? Yes, they do. Woohoo! Yay. I'm kind of wishing the tail didn't articulate at all. It's kind of nice they put the knees in there strictly for articulation, but ironically it doesn't look good when it articulates like this, and it didn't back in '93 either. Oh, you do have to separate it. Careful. There we go. Oh, okay, I see. So in other words, that thing that I was bitching about a moment ago, where it wasn't pointing straight. I guess that's how they solved it. I guess. But they didn't leave any room back here in the back of the thighs either. Oh, sure, they left enough space for the tail to be able to fit there. They put that little stupid little notch in there, which you totally can't see. They put a stupid little notch in there just enough so it would rest here, but not enough to fold all the way back. Just like it did on the original version, by the way. Did it? Yeah. Yeah, it did on the original version. Well, he's got the right profile. The legs are longer, noticeably. That's good. Okay, where's the on-off switch? No, I'm kidding, there isn't. That would have been a nightmare. It would have been nice, but, oh wow. Okay, so these gold oh, okay. So the inner gold, which has been painted, by the way, that's not die-cast metal, but the outer, the actual front of the armor here, that is die-cast metal. His entire crotch assembly there, or not crotch, but his kind of his underwear area, lower torso, these two pieces are die-cast metal. His feet are die-cast metal. His thighs are not. Wow. Now, admittedly, I'm getting this, after everybody else has already gotten theirs, so. It's kind of proportioned right. I'm looking at it here. This kind of works for me. The legs always seem to be a little bit longer. The one problem, though, is they were narrow from a front profile. That was kind of always the, dude, what is this? What is that? Oh, that's actually nice. Does it actually work? Yeah, it does. I was not expecting that one. Bravo. Dust. I don't believe it. It comes from all those Zords I just pulled out. Nope, chompers aren't. It's a shame his muzzle is not die-cast. And the tail isn't die-cast. Come on, what's wrong with it? I'm kidding. No, that part didn't need to be die-cast. For like the 25-year-old collector, or 32. Am I 32 or 33? I think I'm 33. Captions, what do you say? Okay. See, I told you I was that old. The proportions, like I was saying, like the legs were too narrow from a front profile, but they were the right thickness here. Kind of the awesome thing about the original Dragonzord is his thighs were tremendously big. And big stompy boots or whatever it is. Like the poor guy. I mean, he had no shoulder articulation, so he just had to kind of do this kind of thing, terrible T-Rex kind of stance. But it totally worked for me. This totally works for me. The whole chest, nothing in the torso, with the exception of these panels here, nothing in here is die-cast, which is weird, because I would have thought, you know, gold die-cast, gold die-cast, but it's not. That surprises me. Alright. Time to do this. Yeah, I'm going to reset. I'm going to reset so I don't, like I said, I'm paranoid about that desynchronization of video and audio. That's going to be an issue with me in the future. Pretty sure if you played with the I don't think back in '93 when I originally got the Dragonzord it was that difficult. And considering this separates the way it does, I don't know why that was on there so strong. I don't get that. But it is, so, you know, whatever. His butt is die-cast metal, but they can't put any in the chest or his underjaw. Really? Just okay. Has wrist articulation, so it makes things a little interesting back there. And then presumably you just pop. And what was that thing I said about in the Dragonzord review? You always want to hold on to the chest, because if you don't... Whoa! Okay. Never mind, I was about to say they solved it. No, they didn't solve it. 25 years and they still didn't solve that problem. Oh. Good for them. Doesn't come off, though, which is good. Well, it can, but I'm not going to attempt it. You know, it's like nice to see a Z there as opposed to big red M, and whatever these things are, I'm glad to see those as opposed to lightning bolts. Like, don't get me wrong, the lightning bolts were nice and all, but it's nice to see that the decoration. I'm glad they went with that. There's a lot of die cast in here. I'm worried about that. And here comes the part that everybody's been kind of warning me about. They said, Ava, watch out for those... What the hell? What is this? Why would you double joint that? Oh, that's why, okay. Huh. Here comes the part that everybody warned me about, by the way. They said that the lower legs, for whatever reason, are... Oh, it doesn't snap into place. I get it now. Unless they were meant to do that so you could have leg articulation, which would be great, by the way. Maybe they finally did that on purpose. Why doesn't that snap into place? Or is it? I see the problem now. And this joint is not tight enough to hold, so every time, if you're going to attach a leg down here, it's just going to drop down. Is that what everyone's been complaining about? That might be a problem. And considering the die-cast metal that's in the feet, not the legs, but the feet, I can see that becoming an issue. Wow, why does that articulate like that? That's weird. I don't get it. Okay, so they have a tendency to get most... You see, they kind of overcompensate in some ways, but it goes to... the Bandai Creation's just filled with... Ugh. Let's just make it look like it... Why does that turn? Okay. Why does it turn? Is it to give it shoulder joints in the Dragonzord mode? I suppose. Why does it say copyright Bandai 2013? Because it was released in 2014, you got it in early 2015. That's why, Ava. Oh, wow! And the head sinks all the way back, because why not? And I'm not going to be able to get it out of there. You see, that's what... What's this tab on the back here for? Is it to push the... Oh, so that's why they put the door on the back. So again, why does that door open up? Is it to hold that in place? No. Why is there a door on the back of his head? Oh, bet I know why. We'll review that when it comes out later. No. Okay, that's really okay. A. Why is there a door on the back, which is not used for? Oh, maybe it is. All right, I'll leave the door back here. I'll leave that alone. Okay, so why does this fold down as far as it does? I like the idea that the eyes for the Dragonzord drop down and they're on a separate panel from the head. That they did that right. What I don't get is why it is the jaw keeps going backwards. It didn't have to. That's Bandai Creation being lazy. They could have put a little peg in there. How much did that cost? Not even a penny of plastic. Just a little peg that sticks out in the back and stops it from moving. And you know, you didn't even have to put one on the adjoining side. Just one peg, right there on the side, and then the mask comes down and hits it. You cheap-ass sons of bitches. And don't tell me it was because of cost. You put die-cast metal in it. Clearly you were not worried about cost. And yet somehow you were worried about cost. I remember that happening in '93. And yeah, by the way, I still haven't put the decals on here. One of the things I really liked, I was debating with myself whether or not to pull out the original one, but I guess at this point I don't have much choice. I'll do it in a moment. But one of the things I really liked about the Mega-Dragonzord is it had kind of a double Zeta Gundam feeling to it, where it had really, really big knee guards on it. And then the other thing that sold it for me is the whole point of putting this gap in here is so it could accommodate the knees, the little bump, these ridge thingies, whatever the terminology is, so they could accommodate this. Not so that this could turn side to side, which it couldn't in the original version, but so that it would fit in here, and it would actually complement the design. And this one's just kind of the exact opposite. The gaps are there, but these can turn. Why wasn't this brought forward far enough that you wouldn't have to worry about that? I'm starting to regret the 80 whatever it is I spent on this. Starting. Whoops. Yeah, why don't those snap into place? Why isn't there a tab on the back of this thing? Why aren't these flush with that? This down here is a design aesthetic. Okay, whatever, I can live with that. But these knee joint, okay. You see, here's the thing. If you're going to make knee joints, make certain they ratchet. Whoops. That was not intentional. And now all of a sudden it won't. Huh. Is it supposed to articulate or is it not? Because, like, I want to do this. Oh, okay, I just realized. There we go. Okay, so that's why those are there. Okay, I retract that. I retract that complaint. If I can get this repositioned properly. Okay, you have to get past it. You have to get past it. I need you to get, thank you. And then, there we go. Okay, I see what they were doing. Okay, so that's why it articulates in that. No, it doesn't. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So I'll retract that one. It's clumsy at this point. Now it's suddenly become clumsy because this is clumsy. You know, it's supposed to be a legacy. Really, this is the legacy? Look, I understand that the original Power Zord molds were lost to time and space. Okay, I get that. But the least, if you're going to design it, do it right. You got most of it right. You got most of it right. But oh my God, really? Friction? You couldn't have a tab into place? Where it just snaps? Without breaking? Oh my God, really? Wait, is this gonna come off? Is this designed to come off? I hope not. What the? Why does that stick out? Oh, it accommodates the tab. Okay. Thought of it just as I said it. That's an issue. I'm pretty sure Soul of Chogokins don't have to deal with that. And I'm pretty sure Soul of Chogokins are designed by a different branch of Bandai, i.e. the one that doesn't work for America. My, that thing's tiny in terms of like the rest of it down here. And this is supposed to hold this in place. This is really supposed to hold this in place. It's so, what the hell? Okay, this was standing fine by itself a moment ago. No, it wasn't. It even, like, this is on an uneven surface, or it's, you know, it's tilted because of the way of the bed. Even if it wasn't, it can't stand upright by itself. Two of the legs, or two of the little foot pads here are shorter than the other two. Why? You made this thing super thin. I'm not sure why. Because it could totally have been thicker, by the way. And then you made two of the feet are shorter than the other two. Why? This is supposed to be able to stand by itself. Don't get me wrong, I like the fact you got rid of the huge gray thing that stuck out on the side, which nobody ever liked. How do I get this out of here? Okay. Someone tells me I'm not going to like this either. Okay, so they fixed that part. They fixed it. Well, no, they didn't fix it. They didn't have any electronics to do it, so they were able to do it in a different way. So they got rid of the little gray thing that hung onto the side, and you're actually able to hang on to it. They never showed you how they did that in the show. At least I don't think they did. But I can live with that. They did that properly. But there's a lot going on here that's just right there and just... I guess I bought this to support the cause. Oh my God, you can't even turn that so it fits properly. On top of which, because these knees are crap, nope, that ain't happening. The one thing you wish it could do is actually hold it upright. This joint, this elbow joint, is actually strong enough it can do that. So that's actually something they did correctly. And you know, ironically, for all the die-cast metal that's in this thing right now, it still can't support its own weight. Like, you want to be able to hold this up and over its head, but you can't because the legs are shit. And ironically, the legs have a lot of even if the die-cast in the feet was removed and it was just plain old plastic, that would still be an issue. It shouldn't be, but it is. I like it has the articulating tail. I like the die-cast metal. I like the original Japanese decoration. I like the fact that it even exists. But its existence is kind of puzzling. Let's see, can I, yeah. Whatever. Buy American, you're gonna get American. And people wonder why Detroit has fallen into depression. Yeah. It's a friction joint. Okay. By the way, is this peg in here? Is this how it's going to attach to Titanus? I hope not. That has me worried. I would like to get Titanus, but not for $200. Why does this come off? Why does this come off? Why was this designed to separate? It should have been molded and constructed in such a way that it doesn't come off. "15-year-olds know better." You marketed this towards 15 and older, which admittedly is there because of the die cast. Actually, like, that's actually not bad. That's not, I'll leave that alone. Does this separate? No, it does not. I don't know, folks. I'm starting to feel suckered. Starting to feel suckered. There wasn't a ton of stupid on the Legacy Megazord. There wasn't a ton. There was some, but it wasn't terribad. What the F were you thinking? There's definitely WTF territory in the Dragonzord. There's definitely WTF territory. I'm smelling WTF territory. Some things are good, but they kind of compensate for they kind of exist for the sake of the fact that, oh yeah, by the way, he can't. It does good here, but then it kind of falters in things that previously weren't an issue. And I want them to make Legacy Ninja Megazord and Falconzord and Shogun Megazord, really? You want them to do that? This is going to be a thing, huh? We're going to make an issue of this, really? Alright. You insist. Presumably those go backwards. Prepped and ready. This should go up. Whoa! Why does it go all the way forward? Well, it does kind of snap. Kind of. That is really thin. That's really thin. It's going to break. It doesn't need to be thin like that. Could have been a little thicker. You know? Just... That's what I thought it was going to be. Okay, so that's what I was talking about. This panel in the back of the head I was worried about. This opens up so that the horns on the back of the Megazord's head will slip in through there, and then this pegs into where the tail is. Because apparently they had to separate that, and I don't know why. I'm going to pinch myself. Oh, I totally didn't notice the gold along the side here. That's nice. Assuming... Dude, I'm going to scratch up the finish on this. How do you... Wait, why is the head moving? Why is the Megazord's head moving? Why am I having to... Is it supposed to move? I don't think so. No. How does it get past without breaking? Are you supposed to... No. There we go. It almost feels like it's out of alignment somehow. Something feels out of alignment, but I don't know where. Holy shit, what's... Those are in the right place. That's in the right place. Why is this not going down? Okay, there we go. I don't know why there's an issue there, but there is. No, I know why there's an issue. It's bloody goddamn Bandai Creep. What the fuck? What? What? Wait, what? Okay, I'm just... this tells you how much... Tells you how much I play with this Legacy Mega-Zord. I just found something. Okay, how does this go on? Jesus. Or does it? No, it doesn't turn. It was just plug and play. Don't worry, 15-year-olds will be more accommodating. They can handle it. I should not be sweating putting together the Legacy. I should not have to do this. That goes up. There's nothing inside there. So why is this fighting me so hard? Is that it? It can't be, because those are not clipped in. Am I missing something here? Alright, I give up. I look. I will look. What? Huh? Wait, what? Looks like something changed. I'm smelling bullshit. I shouldn't have to take the chest off to attach these things. I don't see why. I don't get it. I don't know how it went in there. This is why I don't buy Bandai America anymore. This right here. Because one little thing can throw off everything else. And lo and behold, wait. That's a very pussy fit. It doesn't even snap, it's just kind of... It's a domino effect, it's a cascading effect. I haven't even bothered complaining about the legs yet on this mode because I'm still focused on this. I shouldn't have to focus on this. Bam! Done! I don't even know how it snapped in there. Apparently taking the chest off makes a difference, but it doesn't say how. Because the pictures are so tiny you can't see what's happening. It helps to be able to have the pictures large enough you can put them onto both sides. That clip's on there. Like, and by the way, these little clips on the side here, these are going to break. They're going to have fractures on here soon. I'm not thrilled at all. There's just the barest minimum, so it could just barely fit over. But, you know, it doesn't. They're going to be stressed out. They're going to fucking break. 15-year-olds are buying this because only 15-year-olds would be able to afford it, because 15-year-olds would be able to put up with the bullshit. 15-year-olds are not buying this for reasons. Wait, what? What? Wait, what? It'd be kind of nice if these folded inwards somehow, but they don't. And there's no snap, it just kind of, and it sits there. And gravity's going to do the rest, because it's just going to sink down over time. Is that why that little clip is on there? Is that what it's meant for? Is this meant to hold this in place? If it is, it's a shit way of doing it. What they should have done... They've got a click on here that's... Whoops. Maybe not. Wait. I have high-functioning autism. I'm a visual learner, which means I can pick up on things. It's not X-ray vision and it's not telescopic vision, but like my mind processes things in such a way that I can... I tend to notice things before other people do. I can kind of take things apart, put them back together in my mind. That's one of the reasons I don't like parts formers and I don't like block formers, is because they're not challenging, they're not interesting. My mind just literally disengages. It's not interesting. I see now what the problem is. I see what they were trying to do. But again, it's one of those, they went in the right direction, but they got this close to the finish line and excuse me. I think I just figured this out. There's a lot of people who've been bitching about this, and I think I just figured it out. Maybe other people have figured it out, but I just figured it out. The disadvantages of living with your parents at age 32, 33, whatever it was I said. I'm going to hang a sign outside my door next time that says, "Recording in progress, do not disturb." Okay. I see what they're trying to do. I see what they're trying to do. Prime 92, you were complaining to me about this the other day. I think I solved it. It's not the best way they could have gone about it, but I see what they were trying to do. On the inside here, there's a tab at the back of the black colored panel there. There's a tab that's on the inside there. One of the problems that I had, I'm cradling this thing like a baby, by the way, which it is. It's a big old baby. One of the things I couldn't understand is why that tab was there, because if you don't lift the black panel up, the whole thing basically collapses in on itself, okay? And you can't raise this all the way. Oops. When you lift the panel all the way up, I have no idea how in focus this is. You'll just have to trust me on it. You have to slip the knee past that. Now, there's going to be and like I said, I see what they're trying to do, but they just, it's kind of screwy. That tab is actually the key to getting this knee to stay in position in the other mode as well. I didn't realize this until now. A lot of people have complained about how these knees disconnect, and I think I just figured out why. This tab, this black colored tab, which is out of focus, I know, this black tab has to press against, I did that on purpose, but it went further than I wanted. The black tab has to press against the underside, has to press underneath the green areas, has to press against the silver. When it's folded all the way in, it has to press in there, okay? So you don't want it to do that. You don't want it to collapse. Push it all the way in, and then let it drop down, okay? This joint, this ankle joint, not the side-to-side motion, but the back and... I wish I could take this leg off. That would help. This ankle joint, can you guys see it? Barely. Let me reposition my camera. Give me a second. Okay, there we go. Okay. So you have to get that black tab to go underneath the knee guard. It has to go underneath it there. That's where you want that black tab to go, and you will have to wrestle with it. Okay, there it is. Now it's in position. So you put the black tab, let's see, I'm going to have to look through the camera here. Put the black panel down. Okay, so you want it to do this, okay? I couldn't figure out until now why it is they would put this ankle joint that twists in this direction, okay? I couldn't figure that out. Why would they put that there? It doesn't make sense, because that's actually a very unnatural position, and the Dragonzord actually leans backwards even more. That didn't make any sense to me until now. There actually is method to their madness. And I assure you, ladies and gentlemen, it is madness. Okay. So the trick to making this work, and this also applies to the Dragonzord in fighting mode. This applies to both modes. You want to make sure this ankle is twisted this way, okay? Just like this. And it doesn't matter if it twists this way. That doesn't matter. That's for the Dragonzord alone. But you want to make sure it's tilted downwards like that. Then you're going to wedge the lower leg. You're going to wedge it in using this black panel. And you want the black panel to click back into position. So they're basically trying to cover up things. They're trying to make this seamless in here by restoring the armor so it's flush right here. The problem that most of us are having is that we're not used to seeing the Dragonzord's knee, the Mega-Dragonzord's knee angled like this. You remember that double Zeta Gundam analogy I was using earlier? That was for decorative purposes, but I see what they're trying to do here now. They're trying to use this black panel. It's kind of like dealing with, you have to kind of go to the retro, Super Robot Chogokin or Soul of Chogokin territory. That's what they're trying to do here, okay? And I didn't really... So they're basically trying to get this black panel here to restrain the weight of this foot so that you get a seamless, so that this panel, that this above the gray panel, they're trying to get this to be seamless. That's what they're trying to do. That's why there's a second part in there. They're trying to get things to, you know, mechanics of one thing wedges against here so that this will fold down, so that this will lock into place. It's that kind of mentality. The problem, though, is that this black panel doesn't have enough hold. It doesn't have enough friction. It does the tab, the very little tiny tab right there. Can you guys see it? No, it's fuzzy. But the little tab just above my finger there that holds that black panel in place, there's not enough hold on it. It doesn't have enough. It doesn't have enough. What's the word? Purchase, I think, to be able to fit in there properly. And I'm pretty certain if I look at these instructions, they're not going to tell you. This is somebody, okay, to their credit, somebody, you see, now all of a sudden it holds. It's not dropping anymore. Okay? That's the answer to the problem. That's the answer to the problem for this thing, for this whole thing dropping down. That's the solution. It comes down to, it's no longer about engineering these things so they look right, but now you're getting into tolerances. That's kind of the thing we're dealing with here, and my face is way out of focus. They're dealing with tolerances of the plastics at this point. Not to the point where the plastic is going to start warping or it's going to do things along those lines, but we're seeing something here that you guys can't even see it, can you? Sorry. The camera's in a really weird place. So I'm gonna go that way. We're starting to deal with it's like they tried to be smart about it. Like I said, this is Soul of Chogokin, Super Robot Chogokin, the high quality Bandai of Japan. That's what they were aiming for here. That's what they were aiming for. They executed it, but they tripped right at the finish line because these black panels are not going to hold that weight forever. Eventually, it will snap out of position. Weight of the die-cast. Ironically, it's the die-cast metal in the feet that's going to be the undoing of this whole thing. The other problem, while tilting these at an angle, the ankle, tilting the foot down, you know, angling it this way. While that works on the saber-toothed tiger, it doesn't on the Triceratops. There's not enough room in here just because of the shape of the Triceratops' back, the way it's shaped. This stuff here. You can't get this. Let's see, maybe I could. Maybe. Let me see. You see, because earlier I was complaining about this turning. By doing it this way, it's going to neutralize that complaint. The complaint won't exist anymore if I can do this right. Let's see. And then tilt this back. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem I encountered earlier. Because, see, now they're trying to... Yeah, see, it works on the saber-toothed tiger, but it doesn't on the Triceratops because this piece of armor right here, let me point at it with the other finger. This area here, it sticks out too far. It sticks in that direction too far. So it forces the ankle, it forces these claw thingies forward. So technically, you are allowed to turn. You should be able to do that. I agree. But those tolerances are awfully tight in there, and these black panels don't have the ability to hold this in place for long periods of time. So I will give Bandai Creations some credit. They were trying to do something about that, and you can see kind of the leverage effect. When I pull up on this, when I'm lifting up on the panels, it's wedging the knee out of position. That's what they're trying to do. That's the motion they're trying to set up. It's smart, but they didn't, and it's close, but no cigar kind of territory. It's really, really close. The reason why most people are not going to notice that is either because A, they're not autistic like I am, B, it wasn't in the '93 release, Or C, and this is my favorite part, it's not in the goddamn fucking instructions. I'm pretty sure it's not in here. Yeah, it's not in here. They don't say that. The pictures are so tiny, and they're not using close-ups. They just say, open the panels, flip the legs up, and then you stick things on. They don't tell you they want you to wedge that back into business. Look at this. They haven't fallen. They're right where they're supposed to be. Now, if you watch the show, or if you have the original 93 versions, yeah, that's a really weird angle. That looks bizarre. It also doesn't match what's on the box. Where the hell... Well, does it? Oh, Jesus. Holy sweet. Problem solved. There it is. There it is, right there. That's why they did it that way. That is why they did it that way. They wanted the armor to... This tiny little insignificant piece of shit armor section, they wanted it to be flush, and they went to this whole complex piece of shit thing. Yeah, that's what it is. It doesn't look right. It doesn't... It's not... This is legacy, okay? It's not identical to the original 93 version. I can't believe I'm going through this. Like, I wasn't expecting to go through this. That's how you solve the problem. Now, the thigh is not pointed straight down. Whatever the point is, those feet are pointing straight now. That is what you want to do. It's God. It's smart and stupid at the same time. Like, whoever came up with that, you were on the right path. You were on the right path. You did it right. It's not identical to the 93 version. It mixes things up. But you got that close. You got that close. And the other problem is that when it's in Dragonzord in fighting mode, when it's in this mode, this doesn't work. Because now you've got the thigh pointed at a weird angle, and you've got that foot tilting outwards at a really bizarre angle. I see what you wanted to do by making it flush with the foot, with the rest of the leg. And I'm talking the saber-toothed tiger and the triceratops. Here's the Dragonzord's foot. I see you were trying to get it in like that. I get that now. I see what you're trying to do. But the problem is someone else in your department screwed up. Or maybe the CAD designers, or maybe the manufacturing... At some point between prototype and production, this got screwed up. At some point... No. At some point between the AutoCAD process, the computer engineering stuff, and when the final version was made, this got screwed up somewhere in there. It actually is a really smart thing to do. I agree. That was a smart thing to do. It's just... It got screwed up somewhere in there. Something went wrong. This is Soul of Chogokin, Super Robot Chogokin level territory here, and I was not expecting it. I was not expecting it. It's like, I mean, you heard me bitching for the last hour or whatever it is. I don't know how much film. It's Bandai America. I don't give a shit. It's Bandai Creation. They're putting out shit product. This is actually something really, really smart here. This is actually kind of cool. But A, it's on a Bandai America product, and B, it got lost somewhat. So, great idea, but it's like its tolerances, it's degrees and inths, not inches, but inths of a degree or whatever it is, and the molding of the plastic, it's just right there. that I completely overlooked it. And I'm under the impression that a lot of other people overlooked it as well. The other problem is it didn't end up in the instructions. Those instructions are shit. Again, the individual pictures need to be bigger, okay? And the individual drawings need to be bigger, need to be much larger so you can see what's going on. And don't show me the entire toy when you're just doing this one tiny little thing right here, okay? Don't do that, okay? Because no, like I need to be looking down here, or I need to be looking down here, and I'm seeing the whole toy, and the whole thing's been shrunk down, so you can't see what's going on. Whoever designs these instructions, don't be afraid to double-side this thing, okay? That is a waste of paper right there. The whole thing right there. If that's the case, just get rid of the paper, and sometimes they do this in Japan, just print the instructions on the back of the box. If they're that simple, put them on the back of the box, or put them on the side of the box. You know, it's not like these are some secret magic ingredients to the elixir of life, or fill in the blank. You know, it's not that complicated, and you're overcompensating. You're overcompensating, and that's part of the problem. If you're going to call it the Legacy Megazord, and if you want to aim for that old school audience, you got to make certain that you got to explain it to them. Yes, there's die-cast metal as a gimmick, but this is a different toy, and you need to show them why. God, I'm clumsy when I'm frustrated. You need to show them why it's different. If you don't, you're going to end up with a lot of people complaining about how it just drops down. And you can't do that, okay? And I didn't have to go to 15 years of college to figure that out, and university and toy education. Like, I'm a consumer. I'm looking for these things. You don't. You're almost overthinking the problem. This coming from somebody with Asperger's syndrome, by the way. Okay, this is interesting. Borak and Borak Va, no, those are Borak Va, Borak Kel, and that's Makuta in the middle there. I got the first 6 by myself, and then the other 12 I got for Christmas. I didn't even ask for them, they just kind of popped up one day. There used to be a little indoor water fountain thingy. It was only about this big, and just kind of, it looked nice, and it made some interesting lights, but it burned out because I totally used regular water when I shouldn't have, so it literally burned itself out. Okay. There's still a lot of crap happening here, but there's also some interesting, you know, let's see. Now I gotta set up for a new camera angle. Let's see, how do I do this? Ladies and gentlemen, the former shooting shelf. It doesn't exist anymore, but there it is. And I totally need to refocus. Give me a second here. I have no idea how bad the focus was just then, so. Okay. Wow, that kind of went to some places I wasn't planning on. The articulating tail is a nice idea. The extending thing, okay, that's an accommodation. Okay. What they didn't do is just flatten it. You know, they actually preserve the back. It hides the gap in the back of the Dragonzord. Remember the back of the Dragonzord's neck? There was that big old gap right there, just behind. They covered it. And they did so in such a way that, okay, fair enough. This is way too tiny. This is way too tiny. And I don't get that. I don't understand why there was a need to do that. It's so tiny. This is kind of an important part of the toy. This is kind of important, and you shit all over it. These were a good idea. I like this. This was good. I agree. Thank you for doing that. There are some collectors who like to swap out the hands once in a while. Wasn't expecting it on this, and why didn't you do it with the Megazord, by the way? But the effort was appreciated. Hey, that's worth $5. Sincerely. There's some stuff like these panels here, which are they're just slightly indented, and then they painted it. This is actually a detail you only saw in the stunt suit. You only saw it in the models. You only saw it in the show. The toys didn't have that. Actually, I think this was actually up front here, something like that. So they changed that. That's good. It looks like the Mega-Dragonzord. It looks like it. I'm still trying to figure out why it is. It was so difficult to get the head wrap thing, the hoodie, the dragon hoodie. That's what I should call it, the dragon hoodie. Well, I was trying to. I just thought of that. But why didn't I think of that 25 years ago? I don't know why it is the dragon hoodie's not fitting over correctly. Like, I don't get that. And the tiny little plastic thingies here, these are gonna bend first chance they get. I don't know why those are. I don't like how those done. It should have just. It should have snapped into position. Like, there should have been a hole in the top of each shoulder, not the forearm, but the shoulder. You know, in the collar area. It should have been a hole here and a hole here, and then just have two tabs come down and snap into place. That's what should have happened. It probably wouldn't have fallen off as easily, and it would have eliminated these little clips, which clearly these clips are going to break within a year. I'm sure people did it the very first time. I'm not thrilled with these little flexible clips things. I'm not happy with that. The legs are super confusing, and it also doesn't work with Dragonzord in fighting mode. I'm calling it that for the sake of other people. I like the idea of the... Is it supposed to do that? Maybe it is. I don't know. I like the idea of the eyes having an individual panel that folds down, that kind of disappears when the face reveals. But why does the face go all the way in the fighting mode thing? I don't get that. Has wrist articulation, up and down, which I wasn't expecting. That's good. Die-cast metal is great. I would say don't put die-cast metal on your toy unless you've covered all your other bases first. It's kind of a thing nowadays. It's kind of an issue. This is amazing, but there's so little. I would almost have said you should have used PVC for the joints. You know, like the poly caps that Bandai uses in their Gundam models. They use poly caps that have that kind of rubbery gripping surface to them. That's what you should have used, as opposed to just straight on ABS plastic. You should have used PVC here. That would have made it hold for longer. As it is right now, you know, that's probably what I'm going to look like in 20 years, although not with such an S bend. But yeah, I kind of wish, if not the whole thing, at least the golden medal. I wish the golden medal had been die-cast. That would have been nice. I like the proportions. The legs were bigger, and the kind of the upper torso was kind of needed that. So yeah, I mean they did some things that were different. They did some things that were interesting, but the problem is it's kind of give and take. It's the good and the bad mishmashing together into what you get here. The original Dragonzord had its issues, but this one fixed some of them, but it introduced new things. So yeah, I mean, I'm kind of torn on it. Congratulations, Bandai America. You brought us the Dragonzord back. You gave them articulation in places we never had before. You put die-cast metal into it. Thank you. Thank you. You tried to come up with some next-level articulation and transformation ability into a really old-school toy. Hit and miss. That's kind of where the problems start developing. I can understand you had to re-engineer this thing from scratch, but and you know, I said it earlier, I'm not a toy engineer. I wouldn't even know where to start because I don't have the education for this. But I can also look and play around with the toy and kind of see in my mind's eye, see intuitively where this could have worked, where this didn't work. I picked up on. I mean, more than half the internet was bitching and moaning about the fact that these legs kept falling down, and I just kind of, there it is. So you went the right direction, you just kind of, right at the end. So, do I regret getting this? Not necessarily. I'm supporting the cause. I'm showing Bandai America and Bandai Creation to a degree that I want to see more stuff like this. Now, hopefully with customer feedback, maybe not in an email, but certainly in video form, they'll see, okay, we did this right, we didn't do this, we did this wrong. Bandai Creation can do stuff right. I bring this up every chance I get. Unfortunately, it's right next to me here. Y'all remember the, maybe I should be saving this summary for when I get the Titanus. $200. Get rid of the diecast and put some stickers on there. Holy shit. I try to advocate for this one every chance I get. For Power Rangers Jungle Fury, which I want to say was 2007, 2008, 2009, I don't remember because I didn't watch it. The transforming Fury Megazord, transforming Jungle Pride Megazord, transforming, they weren't deluxes. It was Bandai America's imitation of a deluxe. These are really good because you did some cost-cutting things, like you removed some paint here, you removed some paint there, you removed the light and sound. You did some things to it, but at the end of the day, the quality of the plastic was really good, and you didn't really, on some occasions you actually improved on things. The Japanese version didn't have a missile, for example. It was just kind of a spear that kind of came out halfway, and that was it. So, did kids shoot themselves in the eye? Yeah, they did, but on the other hand, that's what kids do. So I still advocate for this thing, even if I don't like the Jungle Fury Zords. Like, I'm not a big fan of them. I didn't collect any of the Japanese versions from Geki Ranger, Geki Toja, and all this. Like, I didn't want them. I don't want them. But this version of the toy, and even compared to Japanese versions, you designed this in such a way, I wish I could articulate it, and this is kind of a bad place to be doing it, but this remains the best Bandai Creation for Bandai America toy I've seen yet. Because I don't have anything else, aside from these guys. And, you know, I've bitched and moaned about these things. But this is by far the best engineering I've seen that came out of Bandai Creation for Bandai America, where it originally started as a Japanese toy and they converted it into a cheaper version. This remains the best example. And you know, I've got the whole bunch of them over here. They even excuse me. They even went so far as to add a brand new Zord that was the handheld, you know, the big bazooka that the Rangers used, the Jungle Fury Rangers used. They turned it into a mini Zord and then they attached it. Very gimmicky and very toy gimmick, but it worked. But the Jungle Fury, and you know, I'm also bringing up the other ones. I'm not going to bring every single one of them in front of the camera. This remains the best example of engineering that Bandai America has done, where it started out as a Japanese toy and they converted it into a cheaper version. You know, the original version of this is probably $70 or $80 all put together, and this version's probably no more than $50. So I put my praise right here, and I'm going to put this away. So I am supporting the cause in a way, but you have to be really, really careful. Because as someone once said, the Emperor is not as forgiving as I am. Well, the Emperor is not, the Internet is not as forgiving as I am. I'm willing to, you know, give credit where credit is due. There's some good stuff that happened here. On the other hand, there's some bad stuff that happened here. And that tail keeps popping off every chance it gets. It's really stupid how they did that. I don't like that. This isn't a review, Ava. This is a commentary. This is an unboxing. You've gone way beyond that. Silly me for, heaven forbid, I voiced my 2 cents on anything and tried not to like the sound of my own voice. There it is. And he's going to fall over first chance he gets. I might store him like this. I don't know. Titanus, $200. Jesus H. Not even $100. No, $100. There's less plastic in Titanus than there is need to put together. This is Ava Unit 4A saying, thanks for tuning in. Oh, and these also don't, not happening. Those don't go on there. Is this going? No. Well, you know, admittedly that wouldn't work. Although, to be fair, I guess they... Not like we didn't do this back in 93. I almost said 83, which is wrong. Come on, get in there. Get in there. Get. Thank you. Why is that joint so tight? It doesn't need to be. It's a terrible place for that tab, by the way. I forgot these shoulder joints are real tight. There we go. I didn't even try that yet until just now. Yes, the arms can articulate up and down. Okay. Alright. That's how I'm going to store it. Maybe.